Lightning Rod is easily one of the best wooden roller coasters. It has a maximum height of 206 feet, a drop of 175 feet, and a maximum speed of 73 miles per hour, making it the fastest wooden roller coaster. It's also the only launched wooden roller coaster. Let's talk about your experience. So when you get to the plaza, this ride has a very nice plaza. It's themed to a gas station at the front of it. There's some really nice retro cars, and inside the queue you're gonna see parts for cars, instructions, and a welding shop. Once you get to the station, you'll get to pick your seat, at least based on my experience. In my opinion, front and back are obviously the best, but any row is amazing. Back row is actually my favorite row on this ride, but like I said, front is also very nice. Let's talk about your actual ride experience. So you're going to turn right out of the station and accelerate up this launch. Now, it doesn't actually stop before the launch, unlike a lot of roller coasters. It goes from 0 to 42 miles per hour in 2 seconds, so it's not exactly the fastest acceleration, but it's still really fun, and you really do feel like lateral G's. At the top, you'll actually slow down a little bit, and it is a little bit noticeable. I didn't actually get to ride this when there was still launch track up there, which is kind of undesirable, but it's alright. It's still very fun, and you do get a lot of airtime. You'll dip into this drop, and I actually kind of like this dip because it provides more airtime than you would get if it went straight into the drop, and it's a really nice element. Then you're going to go into your actual drop, and I really love this drop. It's very long, it's a big drop, and you have a lot of speed going into it, so you really get that adrenaline rush. Right after the drop, you're going to go into a wave turn, and I love this wave turn. This is so fantastic. Sideways airtime seems to be becoming a trend on coasters, and Lightning Rod, I think, pretty much started that trend. It's really fun. You really get ejected out of your seat, but you're sideways. It's really cool. It's like Outlaw Run's wave turn, only much larger and probably a lot more intense. Following that, you're going to go into like a mini wave turn, I think is the best way to describe it. You really twist into it, and you get a lot of awesome airtime. Following that, you're going to go into a sideways airtime hill, which is very fun, lots of airtime. And then you're going to go into the Quadruple Down. The Quadruple Down is my favorite element on this ride. It's essentially 4 airtime hills back to back using the terrain. Sometimes the footers even touch the ground on this one. You get plenty of airtime. You really get ejected out of your seat. And then after the Quadruple Down, you're going to go into this 5th airtime hill. And then you're going to go into a non-inverting loop. Now, I really like this non-inverting half loop. It's really cool and it's really intense. I didn't know what to think of it before riding the ride. I mean, it just looked like a kind of an interesting element towards the end, but it's very intense in real life, and it provides some great airtime towards the end. It reminds me a lot of the Fury 325 treble clef element, which is also very awesome, and you get a lot of sideways airtime towards the end. Then you're going to twist out and end the ride. So yes, it's a very short ride. However, when you're actually riding it, it doesn't feel as short. I feel very satisfied after riding Lightning Rod because of how intense and how much airtime there is. Also, people tend to complain of this coaster's roughness. I didn't think this coaster was that rough. On my first ride of the day, it felt actually very shaky. It could have been just because it was one of the first rides. I'm not sure quite why it was shaky, but my rest of my 15 plus rides were completely smooth and breathtaking. In the back, of course, you're going to get a bit of a rattle. That's simply because you're going so fast on a wooden structure, so I don't really mind that. And then another thing people tend to complain about is the restraints. This roller coaster has custom-made trains by RMC. They look great and they have handles, unlike many of the Rocky Mountain Construction roller coasters. And I actually really like these trains, and I really like the feel of the restraints. They honestly aren't too different from the other ones, and while it's a really bulky restraint, it usually doesn't actually staple me, and so I get plenty of airtime all the same. So yeah, that wraps up my thoughts on Lightning Rod. Comparing it to other Rocky Mountain Construction coasters I've ridden, this is actually my favorite. It beats all the hybrids I've ridden. So just for a summary, I've ridden Wicked Cyclone, Steel Vengeance, and Twisted Timbers, and I like this the most. It's really fun, and I just love the amount of airtime. This probably has the best airtime of any coaster. It doesn't have the most, but it definitely has the best. It's really strong airtime, and this roller coaster really makes you feel like you're getting pushed up out of your seat, like most hills do, but then it violently pushes you back in your seat. If you're at Dollywood anytime soon and you need to know which seat to sit in, I would honestly sit in any of them. They're honestly all good seats. I got to experience this in many rows just because no one was there the day I went. But front seat and back seat are the best. Also, row 3 was pretty good too. I'm not sure why. It provided some good ejector airtime. The front was very good because you get a cool view. You know, it really uses the terrain, so it's very scenic. And the back row was just absolutely insane. Back row is definitely my favorite on this, contrary to popular belief. And yeah, this is just a really fantastic ride. For a final grade, I'm going to give this ride an A+, and that should come without any doubt. This is such a fantastic roller coaster. So much airtime, it's very intense. I'd say it's probably the second most intense or the first most intense wooden roller coaster, second only to El Toro, which is incredibly intense. So yeah, that wraps up my my personal thoughts on this coaster. Post down below what you think about this coaster. My name is Coaster Cupcake, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.